Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. It's 8 a.m. here. Prices of BTC currently at 84.12. All right, so let's get to the analysis, folks. Again, if you are not part of the Advantage community, yesterday I actually did a free live Zoom session for y'all, and I actually gave some nice triggers to watch in terms of short and long positions. So even if you're on the free side of our Moon Lounge, which is our Discord channel right here, and you come hang out right here in the free lounge, which is the community discussion area, all right, you can still get some analysis here and there. I will try to put out free trades, free content. But again, a majority of my time and attention and energy goes towards my Advantage members, right? And for now, like I said, we're still offering that 50% discount off till January 30th. That's 6 more days left, folks. 1 month is $50 and 3 months is $150, okay, from our original $100 per month. All right, so that's a big discount that you're getting to take part in some of the action that we provide in our community, all right, in our Advantage side. Okay, so today I'm going to give you guys a free outlook on exactly what I'm looking for in terms of a trigger for a long or short. Again, the kinds of triggers that I'm going to mention in this video, all right, is available every single day for our Advantage members. All right, in a given week, we take anywhere between I would say 8 to 12 trades, right? On the low end, it's sometimes 3 or 4. On the high end, it's about 15 to 20, okay? So today, you're just gonna get a free one to show you exactly what I'm looking at, how I assess the markets, how I pull the trigger on trades, how I'm going to set my stops, look at my target profits, etc. Okay, so here's how I assess the market. Okay, so first things first, all right, I'm gonna look at the smaller time frames. Okay, first of all right, I'm still in a short position, all right, and I'm in the short position from the entry of 86.40, okay, and I only have a quarter of my position left because I cut about half of the position right there, 50% of my position I cut at 83.88, as you can see. Well, I guess it's about $8,400. I think it's with slippage sometimes. Unfortunately, on Bybit, I get typically like a $10 slippage because my orders are pretty large size. And especially, when the market is moving pretty fast, right? It's not that I'm some big whale or anything. When the market is moving fast and I'm trying to place, a quick limit order, sometimes the market will sort of drag my order, $5, $10 into slippage territory. Okay. So anyway, I cut some of my short position, right here from 86.37 all the way into $8,400. So that's a nice, $250 move or so, right? And then after that, I cut some more at 83.67, right? So that's, again, nice $250, $300 move right there. Now, what I'm looking to do is I have a quarter of my position left, okay? Now, remember, one thing that we practice and preach in this community is, number one, manage your risk, right? Number two, set your stop loss. And number three, define exactly where your target profits are, okay? Never enter a trade unless you know exactly where your entry point is, where your stop is, where your target profits are, okay? Never do it. I promise you 9 times out of 10, you will get the trade wrong. You'll probably end up panicking or selling. Even if you get lucky, right, you won't have a game plan and you'll probably return your profits back to the market because you had no idea how long to hold it, where to hold it till, and then the market will eventually, go up to your target profit and then come back down and, either break you even or give you into a loss, okay? All right, so here we go. Okay, so on the 15-minute chart, what I'm seeing right now is a couple things, okay? Number one, all right, what we did was we put on these pivots right here, okay? This is something that I've been watching from yesterday, which was that when price was being dragged down over here, all right, number one, I was watching for this pivot area right here. I'm actually gonna open up the historical pivots, all right? And again, this indicator is free, so all you have to do is type in pivots in the indicator section right here, and you'll find it, okay? So anyway, so the one thing that I was looking for price action, right, was when this pivot started opening up, all right, what I was looking for was, number one, okay, are we going to hit this S1 pivot right here? That's exactly what we did. We actually just bounced off the S1 pivot, right? Number two, what I was looking for was, is this right here going to hold? Okay, that little marker right there, that first bounce, what you typically want to see, right? Once the first bounce is created, you want to see the second bounce either double bottom like that with a higher low, or you want to have it push in a little bit deeper and then, create a spring and then push back up. But actually really what happened was we created a low right there, dug in deeper, but then it looked like we need to stop out more people in terms of the long side, right? Create essentially a deviation right here and then push back up, okay? So here we are, right? Sitting basically off the bounce of the S1 pivot, but still under the 15-minute pivot right there, okay? So what do we have now? Okay, so like I said, I still have a remainder of my quarter position for my short. What I'm looking to do is if I get price to come back into this area and then price starts looking bullish like this, I'm going to cut my short right there and then I'm going to go long, okay? Number two, if I do not get the pullback that I'm looking for, okay? Again, this is another thing that's necessary in the markets because you don't know if the markets are going to give you the trigger that you need to go long or short, right? Or to close out your position and open a new one. Okay, so always have backup game plans. So if I don't get this trigger like this, right? What I'm going to do is I'm looking at the 1 hour time frame. Okay, here's the 1 hour time frame. Here is where things get interesting, all right? Notice this red X right here, okay? I told y'all that I was looking all the way up. I was looking for price to sweep all these X's right here and then push back up. What really happened was price actually kept going higher and higher because someone was essentially pushing the market up. And then that someone essentially sold out a majority of their longs right here and let the market collapse. And notice in one candle, right, we basically stopped out all these X's right here, okay? So this was all the long stops that got swept in one massive candle right there. It's basically we call it like a cascading effect on the longs because, one long stop flows into the other and that flows into the other. And basically it creates a massive bearish candle like this, all right? And everything looks really scary at this point. And it looks like, that was the top and now we have to go back to 6,000 or 7,000 or some garbage like that, right? Whatever people say, okay? So anyway, now what we're looking for is a few things. If this is the last red X right here that we were looking for as a area where resting liquidity lies, right? Notice price dragged pretty deep under this red X, right? So more than likely, I mean, a lot of people have been stopped out. If they were long all the way up here, more than likely they probably had their last stop as this red X right here. Okay, so they've definitely all been stopped out. All right, now that we've stopped those people out, someone was probably accumulating in this area right here, okay? And I'll show you exactly why once we get to the daily as well, okay? So what we're looking for is a nice 1 hour candle close above this area, this red X marker. So that's around 83.87. So we got that, right? We actually got that on this last hourly candle. So that's our first confirmation. Number two, a larger confirmation is seeing a nice higher high as per a previous swing high, okay? So I don't consider this area right here a good swing high. I actually consider this a nice swing high, or rather a swing lower high. Okay, so what I want to see is a 1 hour candle close above this marker, above the high of this wick. Okay, if you do not close above this marker right here, all the wicks poking into that, once they get pushed back down, that would be a bearish SFP, meaning that prices poked up past this wick, but then they were not able to close above. They actually closed back down under, and then prices got dragged back down under, okay? That is what we call a bearish SFP, which we don't want, okay? What we want to see on an hourly time frame for us to consider going long from here, okay, is number one, we want to see a 1 hour close above this marker. That's 84.26 on Bybit. Do your own research on your own respective exchange, okay? So that is the first trigger that I want to see. And like I said, if I get the trigger below where, prices come back down, let me close out my short right here. And then let me flip long if I see some bullish price action like that. Okay. All right. Another way, now if you want to be a higher time frame trader, right? Another way we can do that is kind of the same thing, which is over here. If we draw out that marker, same thing right there, right? 84.25, 84.26 or so. Okay, that area right there, you want to see a 4-hour time frame close above that. Okay, if we do see that, that's another trigger for us to go long. Okay, so if you are a higher time frame trader, which is maybe a 4-hour, or daily, or a weekly, that is probably what you want to see. Okay, now you're probably thinking, okay, so if we get those triggers, then what? All right, well, you have a couple of options. Okay, you can, if that happens where we get a close above this marker right here, 84.26 on the 1-hour or even the 4-hour, your stops could be as such. Okay, you could place your stop just below this wick right here before we pushed off, right? So the low of this right here is 83.38. Okay, so your stop would probably have to be right there. Okay, 83.34. All right, now if you want a deeper stop, okay, I would personally say that either it's going to be this marker right here, 82.75 or so, actually just below this wick right here. So probably like 82.70, or if you truly want a deeper invalidation stop, it'd have to be below this key low right here. So that's around 82.20. Okay, so you have a couple of options depending on what kind of trader you are, what kind of leverage you use, what kind of capital you use. You have a stop right there below this wick. You have a stop right there, but below, which is this trading range right here, or you have a deeper invalidation stop around 82.20. Okay, I'm not going to tell you which one I'm going to use because I operate in a different way as the market moves dynamically. All right, and I also operate with different capital, different leverage. So I have no idea what your risk tolerance is, what kind of capital you're going to use, what kind of leverage you're going to use, what your goal or targets are, right? I mean, if you want to place a stop here and you just want to close out your trade, let's just say right there, I mean, who knows, you might be using really high leverage, right? I have no idea. Okay, and I'll tell you the targets, what I would be looking for. Okay, first thing that I'd be looking for in terms of long targets is this. If you notice this white dash line, we call it the EQ of this demand structure, or rather previous demand structure. Okay, notice how price was sort of bouncing, from this area multiple times right here before it finally gave in, right? So the fact that it bounced here multiple times, I would want to trade right into that middle area of this demand structure. Okay, and that's right around 85.20, 85.50 at most. Okay, that would be my first target, right? And then the high of that trading range right there, which would be about 85.75 or so, that would be my second target. Now beyond that, okay, if prices start moving up past this area, I would probably figure they're going to aim for these highs right here. Okay, and that's actually around 87.50 or so. Okay, that would be my next target. Now, if prices start getting beyond that and things look really bullish, I would definitely aim for this X right up here. Okay, that's around 88.25 or so. And if we get a 4-hour close, above 88.28.50 right there, if you look at that marker, right, the significance of that marker is that all these candles, if you see them right there, right there, right there, they were all unable to, and even right there, they were all unable to close above this 4-hour marker, 88.28.50. Okay, and once they did, right there, none of them refused to close under, because we use this consolidation period as a key area for prices to push up higher. Okay, so that area is very important. So if we see a 4-hour close above that, then I'd be targeting these highs right there. Okay, so you have now an understanding of targets to watch, right, for longs. Number one, EQ 85.25. Number two, high of the range around 85.75. Number three, 87.50, which would be the highs of these right here. Number four, which would be this X right here around 88.25 or so. And like I said, if you get above a 88.28.50 on a 4-hour close, then I'd be aiming for these highs and possibly even higher highs. Okay, maybe $94, $9,500. But again, we're very far from that. I have no idea what price is going to do in the next hour or 2 or 4 hours, right? This is why we have our Advantage community, folks. We, through the day, I provide analysis for people, as early, I mean, I sometimes wake up at 5 or 6 a.m. I let people know exactly what I'm seeing in the market, if there's anything to report. I also do nighttime analysis for our European, Asian, people from Australia, New Zealand, our members from there. So, I'm a pretty active person in the community. This is not just here's your video for the day, go enjoy, right? I'm constantly engaged in this community, number one, because I'm, a day trader, right? This is my job. This is what I do for a living. And number two, I feel somewhat responsible to educate people on exactly what I'm doing, right? I like to let people know not just why I pick trades the way I do, but I also like to explain, because I am an educator by nature. I like to sort of show people and explain to people, why we do the things the way we do them. Because ultimately the goal is to educate you guys to the point where you can do this stuff on your own, okay? That's my ultimate goal, right? And we've seen people in our community grow from that aspect. I mean, obviously they still need a bit of hand-holding, and that's okay, because when I started trading in 2007, right, in the equity markets, I was actually profitable for like a good year, okay? And then after that, right, from 2008, maybe 9, all the way to 2011 or 12, it was just, really tough for me to sort of make money consistently in the markets. For the most part, I actually lost a lot of money, okay? I'll be honest about that, because it was a really sort of tough struggle and a tough battle. And that is really the battle for all, people who want to day trade in these markets or trade essentially, right? There's no way that so many people are making, money consistently all the time. A lot of them are just lying, or a lot of them are not making money consistently. They might be winning trades here and there, but really, they're down a lot, okay? So in our community, what I tell people and explain to people is how to exercise patience in the markets, okay? I've been holding my trade from that, 86.37 marker, like I told you, all through these swings, right? And I can guarantee you that on these little bounces back up, a lot of people panic, right? And this is where I come in and I help people understand why not to panic, why you need to understand the structure of the market on different time frames and different SR levels, and even utilizing different indicators to realize why you should sort of hold on to your position, or maybe even double down, or consider cutting your trade, etc. Okay, so like I said, explaining to people is part of my forte, because I want to help you guys sort of get smarter in this space, right? Seek out the bullshitters and call them out, because a lot of people are really lying to themselves in this space because they're not really making money consistently. They don't do this for a living like I do. Every day in the markets, it's a battle, because I have to, make money to sort of feed myself, put money on the table. And so far, to be completely honest, I'm doing pretty well, right? I'm traveling the world, as my community knows it. I'm moving to different countries. I'm still doing my analysis. So I have a pretty decent living from just day trading in the markets. And again, that's after 11 years of doing that, right? I didn't just come into this space like 2 days ago and tell you guys and profess that I'm, some God day trader, because I'm not, right? I mean, I still try to improve every single day. It's a constant learning process in the markets, but I show you guys exactly what I'm doing in the markets so you can learn from it, okay? So anyway, folks, you have, ideas for longs and short triggers. I don't think I showed you guys the short triggers, but anyway, if you see, 2 or 3 consistent candles unable to close above this high right here, there's a chance that you could go short, place your stop above this wick high or whatever wick high that comes in, and target in this area right here, 82.50, 82.80, or even these lows around 82.25. Okay, so that's your short trigger. All right, let's see if we have anything to talk about in terms of 4-hour time frame. Okay, so here's the thing about the 4-hour MFI. Okay, the money flow index is again similar to your RSI, except the money flow index takes into account of price and volume, whereas the RSI is only price action. Okay, so money flow index, if you notice these black lines right here, is actually into the oversold territory. Okay, So number one, typically when you get into oversold territory for MFI, you'd see at least a small bounce, right? For example, right there, that's a small bounce. This is oversold right there below that black line. Again, pretty decent sized bounce. So yeah, I would probably expect at least, a bounce from here, okay? Let's see here, okay? Here's where things get interesting, all right? On the daily chart, I want you guys to look at this blue zone right here, okay? This is actually created by this 2-day consolidation right here, where we were previously, consolidating right here and then sold off, right? But then once we reach back over here around January 8th, we hit that and then consolidated and then finally pushed up past it. So notice that all we've really done is hit that as support and support. And even over here, it looks like, we're trying to do our best to hold inside this blue area right here, okay? Now, if you notice this red candle right here, notice how close it came to the edge of breaking below the low of this area right here. Now, the low of this candle right here, if you look, is 83.77. The closing of this candle right here is 83.83. Okay, so just about $7 off or $6 off, right? There's a reason why bots and algos step up to the plate and defend these positions. It's because they know that this is really the last area where we want to see prices being dragged down into. We might let the price, fall a little bit, but ultimately we're going to make the price close inside this area, okay? Because if the goal of the market is to hammer this area, and make people sort of close out their positions in terms of longs and ultimately drive the market up, this is how you incite fear and panic, by a big bearish candle like this, right teetering on the edge of that, blue block, okay? And now if you notice that this green candle, look at the wick at the bottom, right? This is wick at the bottom. What that says is, if we start going into the smaller time frames, is all the people, all right, all the people who essentially shorted right here at the bottom, which was the daily support, like I just showed you in that blue block, they're now underwater, okay? Because they shorted support, right? They're now deep underwater. I mean, almost say $100 to $150 move, they're underwater. So what they do need right now is prices to quickly come back inside this area. I mean, fast, or else, price might just keep accelerating up, and then those people get liquidated or stopped out, and then that actually accelerates the market up, okay? So that's kind of what I'm looking at right now is, this blue area right here, we need to see the daily, which we still have almost 8 or 9 hours for the daily to close. We want to see the daily close inside this blue block. If it does, I could definitely see more upside as per the daily candle, at the very least towards $8,700 or as high as $8,900, okay? All right, I think that's pretty much it. Let's see, daily Stochh RSI has pretty much entered the oversold territory. An interesting thing about the RSI is that if you notice right here, okay, that's your lower low on the RSI, okay, and here's your higher low in terms of price. That's bullish divergence, folks, right there, okay? So for now, I'm expecting at least a small bounce from this daily candle, okay? So we'll see how that pans out through the day. But again, I hope you guys come join at least the free side of the Discord. The Discord link is below in this YouTube description. Or come join the Advantage program. Like I said, 50% off, your last chance to sort of take advantage of the 50% off discount that you're seeing. Let me see where it is, right there, okay? 50% off discount again, folks, 1 month, $50, 3 months, $150, 6 more days left, and I will talk to y'all soon. All right, take care, cheers, happy trading, and again, please manage your risk, please set your stops properly, and I'll talk to y'all soon, all right? Cheers.